The growing calls across the nation to defund the police.
To end policing as we know it.
Off the charts violence in New York City. 11 people shot in just 8 hours on
This is
Sunday.
about the police officers who every single day put on that uniform and they run towards danger when we run away from it.
Guns up and look what the cat dragged in today on the Failure to Stop show. Welcome to Failure to Stop podcast, the #1 show where law enforcement meets culture, and bringing us back to olden days, brought into the modern times. As you can tell, we've been doing different styles of episodes, and Off the Cuff is sort of back.
Well, it's taken so long that I've actually replaced Father Time, which is why I have the beard. that's how long it's been.
Oh man, I don't know what the comments are going to be. When we first launched the Failure to Stop show, Tansy and I, poor Tansy.
I accidentally had his mic off for the live stream, not the recording, but for the live.
Oh, everybody's like, what? So his mic isn't on. Oh, come on, man.
I'm sorry.
See, and again, this is I just said on Friday's show that we made a mistake in calling him the
Aaron,
underpaid producer.
Old Tansy's mic is
Old Tansy. That's your new nickname is Old Tansy.
Oh my God, yes.
Well, I just said on Friday's show that we have the wrong nickname for Elijah because it should be overpaid producer, because every time he still makes a mistake, like not having your mic unmuted for the beginning of the show.
Right,
so the whole Guns Up Giddy Up is ruined
it never
for
changes.
the live stream.
Yeah. It's basically just a blank space.
Ridiculous. So when we first started the Failure to Stop, obviously Tansy took a licking because people were confused on my channel as to where Dave was. Why was he replaced with a transvestite? There was a lot of things going on that was confusing to people, and maybe the world is made right now by bringing Dave in for a new Monday show. When we first started, we were trying to cram in a lot of stuff to one episode, and now kind of like how we've naturally spread this out, guys, is our flagship Friday show is all breakdowns. We break down current and past cases. Nothing's changing about that. Me and Tansy are together every Friday to break that stuff down for you, Big Bird and Cookie Monster style, so that you can understand it and talk with your friends about why you're so knowledgeable about these major law enforcement cases. Tuesday night shift, baby. We talk about random stuff that cops would talk about car to car in the middle of the night. Make it through your night shift. Thursday, Tansy does Last Call, which is all the pop culture news you could need to be a normal person on the weekends at the barbecue. You know, when you're out there wearing your white New Balance and socks up to your knees, you can sound normal. You don't have to talk about the dead kids you saw at work that week. You can talk about, Britney Spears and conservatorship, the normal stuff that people talk about. And Mondays, we're doing Off the Cuff, man. Dave is back.
Feels right. It feels
right.
So right. It's weird because now that I have this beard, like every once in a while, I'll ever so slightly brush up against the microphone. It tickles me.
You hear the bristles, the bristles against the windscreen. And we're going to break down news, the law enforcement related news stuff. Is going to do that. Where's Mike on the mic going? I don't know. I'm just going to throw in random rants here and there. But we're trying to do is add tons of value to you guys and add to the Failure to Stop family of shows. And we will soon we've got even more surprises and more tricks up our sleeve. You can expect even more coming. And hopefully each week you guys are just more and more pleased with, we're generous gods.
Yeah.
We really are.
Yeah.
It's
We're
giving
ridiculous.
you all this stuff. We're the underpaid producer has the screen so far away from us. I can't see. I see that you put something.
Tyler
on the screen.
Rainman did a super chat, $10. So happy to see
Ooh.
Dave. How you been, sir?
Wow.
Where are the sexy glasses? How's the book sales? You retire yet?
Man, there's a lot of good questions.
There's a lot going on in that question.
Actually, if you guys do remember me, it's been a long time. Like I said, I've taken Father Time's replace. That's why I have the beard. And the what are they? Didn't he have like a staff? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's mine. It's mine now, and I have a weird dress now that I wear.
Father time.
But yeah, so I'm retiring April 30th. I can start taking my time anytime. But wow, who can leave this profession? Am I right?
No, yeah. Why would you want to do that?
Right, exactly.
Why would you want to get out of policing?
Yeah. So no, things are good. Things are good. You know, the book. I'm lazy and I've been doing my own stupid stuff, so I have not been working on the book. What else? What else was there asked there? There was something very important. I don't remember what it was.
Where's the glasses? The sexy specs.
Oh yeah. So my prescription for that basically ran out.
You didn't get it renewed?
So I never renewed the prescription.
I took a sip of coffee.
So no, I had to replace those glasses, and then I no sooner.
What was the nickname for those things?
Action glasses.
Action glasses.
Yeah,
That's
no,
right.
I love the things, but they just again, my eyes are just turning to shit. So
looks like you were always constantly ready to play racquetball.
I know, and you know I was. So I had them, and then the script ran out. So I couldn't afford the to re-up for another year. But I did buy another pair of glasses. I had them for like 2 weeks and I lost them. I just have not replaced them since because I'm lazy.
Look at me. I'm trying to read comments.
Dude, I'm
Oh my
sorry.
God.
man. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, man. So
thanks for asking though. That's awesome. Thanks.
we're back in terms of Dave. Dave is on staff now.
Yeah,
He's on the roster.
Till he fires me again. After that, when you fired me, I went and I got high every day. I moved to Indonesia. This is no lie. And I worked at a nudist colony. So they made me wear clothes, which was, I don't know, it seemed weird, but
You were the only one in clothes
Yeah.
at a nudist colony.
And speaking of that, it's weird because I didn't know you guys do makeup now. Because I was in the green room. And Elijah was applying it. I felt like he put a lot of rouge on it. And he put lipstick on it, which was weird. And the one thing that I think the thing that got me the worst is the fact that kind of the stuff that happens in the green room. I didn't know that was I know he's married now, so we
call them pedicures.
Yeah, he's more experienced.
That's the nickname. Elijah was showing Dave. We have these new chairs. If you're watching live, which we normally will not be live on Mondays. Just full disclosure. We're doing it today because Dave was able to make the trek down from where he lives in the middle of only God knows where this guy lives. Literally, you can't find him. Only God. Right. I'm not exaggerating. Only God knows where he lives, and me because I helped him buy his house. But and by help him, I mean I actually financed it for him because he's broke.
Because I'm broke. I was in Indonesia for God's sake for 4 years.
Turns out the nudist colony market is not that great in Indonesia.
I put it all in there too.
But when you it was unlimited mushrooms, and so what you learned spiritually far outweighed any financial.
I brought wisdom back with me. That's it.
Anyway, so we have these new chairs. If you're watching live, they're like gamer chairs, but I wanted to look like Tim Pool's show, so I wanted the gamer chairs in the background, and Elijah was showing Dave how far the chairs go back, and we lay back in them, and we have someone come in and give us pedicures weekly.
That's what they call them.
Pedicures.
They call them pedicures, but
that
is not what I would have called them.
All right. Enough of the pleasantries. We've got to get into some shit. We're going to get into the news today, starting with the unbelievable. If you have to be living on, I wasn't even watching the Oscars last night. I was watching 1883. Tansy talked about 1883 on Last Call, and he talked about the whole Sam Elliott debacle because Sam Elliott was criticized for basically
being a badass.
Yeah, essentially saying like
I was kidding.
There was some New Zealand chick filmmaker who did Power of the Dog or something of the dog. It was a Netflix documentary. It was a Western, and it had Benedict Cumberbatch in it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
watched it.
Good. Was it good?
No.
Okay.
All right. It was one of those things where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You feel like if I'm really into film as an art form, I'm supposed to like this.
I see.
And Sherry and I watched it, and we looked at each other at the end. We're like, that was terrible. It was absolutely stupid. It was filmed very well. Like the visuals of it was great, but the story, it just sucked.
Okay.
It just sucked.
All right.
And it was forcing this sort of like weird homoerotic scenario.
Like Brokeback,
kinda
like 0.5.
Yeah, 0.5, 0.25 maybe. But so this person, the lady that wrote that documentary, apparently was talking about how there was a lot of homoeroticism in the cowboy world and all that stuff. And he criticized her like, no, it wasn't like that. Most cowboys were deep family men with traditional relationships, and the outfits that you picked, like she's never been to the United States in Montana. He's like, you said it in Montana. You've never even been there. Don't tell me what it's like. You don't know what it's like. Sam Elliott's a badass when it comes to Western style stuff. He knows this. He knows this stuff. So then he was criticized as being homophobic simply because he said, no, it wasn't that way. You're portraying it a certain way. And the outfits you chose, everything you did was wrong.
Right.
You don't understand the Western genre. And then of course, he's a homophobe because he disagrees with somebody.
He puts the song like, I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle.
I got spurs that jingle, jangle. Which is, I didn't want to talk about Sam Elliott or Westerns at all.
I'm glad you did.
I was watching 1883. I wouldn't watch the Oscars if I was paid to watch the Oscars. It doesn't matter. I have no interest in that stuff.
Well, if you paid me enough,
it's one giant actor circle jerk.
Yeah.
And unless it's Ricky Gervais criticizing them to their face again, I have no interest in it.
So good.
I saw this one clip of Amy, what's her face, the comedian lady.
Oh, Schumer.
Amy Schumer. Wanda Sykes and somebody else talking about it's gay, whatever they were talking about, like to the Florida people.
Yeah, I heard that clip,
and it just pissed me off. I was like, these people are so dumb.
God, they are dumb.
It makes me so mad, and they just sit around and congratulate themselves. But I have no interest in this.
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
So I was watching 1883, took a bathroom break, or Sherry took a bathroom break. Like, hey, pause it, whatever. And I picked up my phone and I saw on Instagram, it was just meme city about Will Smith smacking Chris Rock in the face. And I found these clips, and then the memes were we're in our group chat.
Oh yeah.
It's just, it was on then. Yeah. People are texting me. You've got to, like, it just blew up, right? Everybody knows about this. And if you haven't seen it, you're going to have to go back and check it out.
It took literally about 18 seconds for the whole thing to
the meme factory
before the meme they just started pouring out.
It couldn't hardly keep up. So the meme machine was smoking.
Yeah. Will Smith would never be able to keep up with all the memes out there. He'd have to smack every person that makes it. His hand would get tired. It would get red.
So, hey, there's another super chat. Did you put that up? I want to acknowledge it. I can't read it. So you have to read
Tyler
it.
Raymond again. This is the freaking
weekend review.
Bring it back.
This is the weekend review for law enforcement, like the law enforcement weekend review anyway. In the news. Yeah, that's what we're doing. It's off the cuff will be in the news. So let me ask you this. From what you understand about the situation.
Right.
First of all, both you and I have probably put people in handcuffs for exactly what Will Smith just did.
Oh without a doubt. Absolutely.
Is this a case of the elite getting away with assault simply because they're the elite? Or there's no victim if he doesn't want to press charges?
And I think that's where you're at, right? I think that you have I'm quite certain that Chris Rock isn't going to, demand justice in this case. I mean, he took it on the chin pretty well.
Listen, man, Will Smith doesn't look like a tiny dude. Is he just the weakest jaw jacker
if you're saying
in history, or is Chris Rock tough as nails, like hard to knock out?
Yeah, no, and that
was the weirdest episode of Everybody Hates Chris, by the way.
Well, we only know of one guy who really did not like Chris. He hated Chris. But you're right. Like, so,
and by the way, I mean, what was up? I mean, he got in one little fight. His mom's probably scared. He's going to have to move back with his auntie and uncle back in Bel Air after that.
Say that. It's so dumb.
Got in one little fight with Chris Rock, and his mom got scared.
Well,
and his wife got scared.
You see her roll her eyes when that joke.
I got so scared her hair fell out.
Yeah. Well, watch. Seriously, what if Will Smith burst through the doors right now and just slapped us both and just walked out?
It wouldn't hurt.
You got to know the room, though.
Sure wouldn't.
So let me ask you this: Who do you think there's a person? Well, let's go back to the no victim, no crime.
Right.
Go finish.
Well,
what
no,
were
I
your
just
thoughts
think
on
if you don't have a victim, then you certainly don't have a crime. And this would be one of those cases where, like I said, he took it on the chin pretty well, you know. And I mean, I think the fact that Will Smith hits like a 6-year-old girl probably like helped us. Like had Chris Rock been knocked the fuck out,
that would have been so crazy.
It would have been
even weirder. It
super
would have been
crazy.
nuts.
Yeah, because then there would have been so much dead space, you know. And then he would have been like standing over him
Cut
like he was in Ali, but he was like this, you know, to make the.
You would think after he trained for a movie like Ali, he could knock somebody out.
Yeah,
but
the people say it was a slap. It looked like it sounded like a punch.
It
looked like a punch.
It was an open-handed slap.
It wasn't an open hand punch, or did he like kind of do like this and then, like yeah? Did he go like that, or like no? It was
looked
weird.
like Chris
the whole thing was
Rock
bizarre.
leaned into it, like he saw it coming. Is like just
yeah, but it seemed like
ate it.
Yeah, but in this we kind of mentioned that too. Like, was this a stage thing? Because
I don't think
Hollywood.
so. I don't think it was staged at
absolutely
all.
agree with you, Mike. I don't think there was any doubt that was absolutely real.
Yeah,
and I mean, what would you have done
if I was who?
Yes.
Well, I was going to ask you this because I was going to put you in this position because
Did you put that on me, Ricky Bobby?
don't you put that evil on me. I have literally made fun of your wife in front of both of you.
Oh my God. For which? The fact that she is Asian or breast cancer?
Yes.
Exactly.
I've made fun.
Exactly.
I've made cancer jokes. I've made I've made Asian jokes.
Yeah.
Breast Asian jokes.
Asian breast jokes.
Yeah.
Can you do that? I don't know.
I've mocked her driving abilities. I've done everything.
God, yes.
If
For
it's
servitude.
if it's joking, like, and thankfully now you have made me suffer physically on the mats before.
Yeah, but that's just I don't like you.
That's just in
That had
general.
nothing to do with
that's
my
a general.
wife.
That's a general ability to dominate me physically. That's just a characteristic of our relationship.
Yeah,
but not because I made fun of your wife.
no, absolutely not.
So
weird. It's bizarre.
So I had friends polar spectrum, right? Like Tansy, for example, and I were talking about. He's like, this guy's he's just a weak man. Like it's Chris Rock is a comedian,
Yeah,
doing comedy stuff.
Yeah,
and you get roasted if you're in the front row of a comedy show. You get roasted. That's how it works.
yes,
and you have to be able to take it, right?
I agree.
On the other hand, my buddy Chris is like absolutely 100% he stands with Will Smith. If somebody joked about my wife's medical condition, he's got it coming.
Oh,
and I'm like, I guess I get it.
No, you don't. Mike.
But listen,
don't bullshit.
No, I understand what he's saying.
Yeah, but
there's
that's
a difference.
bravado
There's a
bullshit.
difference between if I'm sitting at a restaurant, right? And some dude just walks up to me and says something about my wife, I might stand up and go like, all right, and blast him in the face.
Would you though?
But maybe,
really?
I don't know.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like what
Is
what
it
can
worth
somebody say?
I don't know. But what I'm saying is I get the concept of defending your wife's honor,
Yeah,
right?
I get that.
But on the other hand, if I go to a comedy show, I know everyone knows this. If you sit down at a comedy show, especially in the front,
You're getting it.
You are potential fodder. You and
Agreed.
anybody with you is potential fodder for that comedian to use at his will to entertain the crowd.
Yes.
Period. Everybody knows this. Will Smith is sitting there. It's Chris Rock. And if Chris Rock, I understand that there's some history there. He's made some jokes that I guess Sherry informed me of this. I don't know anything about this, but apparently he's made jokes in the past about Jada Pinkett Smith.
Okay.
That Will Smith, there's been some back and forth, right? Online or whatever about this, but he still went there. He put his tux on and sat in the front row like everybody else, knowing Chris Rock was gonna be like,
yeah, but so let me just ask this because I know that we also have a comment here too, but the reality is this is Chris Rock jealous because he's the only one who hasn't been with Jada Smith? or
He hasn't
Will
had
Smith,
that was quite an entanglement they had on the stage.
or is Will Smith just pissed because she hasn't been with Chris Rock yet? That's really the question I have, because
right?
you know, and I'll say it. I'm just going to say it because I can say whatever I want on a podcast, right?
Yes, you can.
Will Smith's a cuck. There's no doubt about it. This guy has been used and abused by his wife.
Absolutely.
To every extent you can possibly imagine. And this is where the dude draws the line at her shaved alopecia head. Nobody cares about your bullshit, right? Like, my thing is,
everybody needs to be a victim. She's so stunning, so brave, because she has something that millions of other people have.
Don't care. Dance for me. That's all I want. Not her. No, as an actor, just dance for me.
But let's be
Entertain
clear.
me,
If she was dancing for you, Will would be okay with watching.
It was an entanglement.
Absolutely. I just hope she wears a wig. No, I'm just kidding. She looks great. She does. She looks great. But I mean,
the G.I. Jane joke was funny though. Dude.
See, I didn't even think it was that. I didn't think it was that funny. Like,
it was low hanging fruit.
Maybe he was just pissed.
Well,
because
he was
it wasn't
laughing.
That great of a joke.
He was laughing.
I know
though.
he did.
But
I think
he was laughing.
She started laughing. She laughed at the first little joke, and then when the G.I. Jane thing, her face changed.
She got upset, and I think
Will Smith looked at it and said, "Uh-oh, now what am I gonna do?" But seriously though.
What a bitch. Seriously.
You bring up a good point. What would it take for me to actually stand up and punch another man? Right? What would it genuinely take?
It would take.
Would it take
a ton?
Would it does a cut down about me or about my kids or about my wife? What impact does that really have on my life that somebody else would stand up and say a comment? Does that warrant physical?
That would happen.
Would I really do that?
This happens all the time in police work. How many times has somebody said that they're gonna go fuck your wife? Something dumb, like it's just they just try to get your goat
or hurt my kids.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna rape your. I had people. I'm gonna rape your kids.
Yeah, and I just look at them like,
are you though?
Really gonna do that?
Are you? Is that what you're gonna do?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're just not gonna get there for me. Like,
I tell you, it wouldn't have been justified if I would have. Well, I had a case where on audio in my my car cam, whatever they would call it, like in car.
Yeah.
The guy called me racial slurs and said he was going to rape my kids. All this, and I got sued, and the city settled. And that I didn't punch the guy. I didn't punch the guy. So to me, I think you're right. Like, so I give the restaurant example or whatever, because I'm like, I can see a situation in which I would defend my wife, but over why would I give a stranger the satisfaction of getting my goat over his opinion about my wife or me?
Right.
What does it matter?
We call that getting rope-a-dope.
Now,
that's really what that is.
Now, if we're in public, we're at a concert or something like that, and someone grabbed my wife,
that's different.
Well, then we're gonna bury a guy.
It's right. It just depends on that whole situation. He could have just shouted, "Hey, she has alopecia. That's too don't do that." Like that would be you don't need a.
Would it have been better? Would it have been better to walk up to the microphone and go, "Let me see that for a second. By the way," and then him to say something.
Exactly.
Would that have been a better way to? Well, of course. Well, later on, he apologizes, not to Chris Rock. He apologizes to the Academy and his fellow nominees.
And so,
of course,
the thing is like,
but he excuses himself because love does crazy. You do crazy things for love.
Like I said, he's a cock.
Like, let your wife sleep with other men.
Didn't we have a comment up there that you have to zoom?
We have lots of comments. We just can't read.
No, there was one
on it so far away.
What are you saying?
Was that?
We have nobody.
What was that?
He got in a little fight. His mom got scared. She said, "You can't slap Chris Rock because your wife has no
hair." Well played.
Well played, indeed.
Yeah, I don't know. I look at it like relating it to police work. I think it's even worse in this case because this guy is an actual comedian. Now, granted, I didn't think the joke was funny. I think he can be a way sharper. I actually can laugh at a lot of his stuff. He's not my favorite.
He's no Dave Chappelle.
No, he's no Chappelle whatsoever. But he's solid, but it wasn't that funny. But this guy had to take, like I said, I feel like something clicked in and he panicked, like, oh man, she's not going to have sex in front of some guy now. in front of me, if I don't say something. I couldn't do it, dude. Seriously, I want him to bust through this door and just slap the shit out of me.
But am I the only guy that sees this slap happen and think he didn't even knock him over?
No. Now, it
like, if you're gonna slap
hell
somebody,
it did. It confused the hell out of him. He was just like, and he was like, and then
he's wow, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me. And he kept going. He tried to keep the show going.
He tried, and he just
the consummate professional.
He was trying to bring it back because I think it really did confuse him, which was why I think that it was real. But the one thing that kind of got me about Chris Rock is, now, had somebody done that to you, you probably would not have fought the guy. You'd probably been like, seriously, dude, like this is what I mean. You're acting.
That's how you handle. Yeah. That's how you handle being upset.
Yeah, you are acting. You are the professional by not acting back, right?
100%. I think Chris Rock handled himself very professionally.
But when Will Smith went on, when he was crying, about it, he like, because that's how he sounded to me.
Yeah, for sure.
There was a point where Chris Rock's like, okay, like he's like, you keep my wife's out of your mouth. He's like, okay, like, I will.
Relax.
I'm thinking, that's when I would have been like, okay, like or I would have probably like, I just had to.
What would have been a better comeback?
So weird.
If he would have said, or what?
Yeah. Or what are you gonna do? You're
gonna hit me again?
Slap the other side of me?
You're gonna hit my other cheek?
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
You're gonna punch my. You're gonna block my eyes out from watching your wife have sex with other dudes.
Yeah. Like I'll keep your wife out of my mouth, but she has to keep. What? I'm not going to go there.
You guys can connect those dots. Well, I mean, that's it.
Weird.
But like,
Just
you can't arrest. Like a lot of people. I mean, Tansy even texted me. He's like, I would already be in jail.
Oh yeah,
for that
easily.
assault.
Very easy.
If anybody else would have hopped up onto the stage and punched Chris Rock in the face, security would have come out, grabbed him. He would have been charged. I guarantee you had been like, yeah, that guy's going to jail.
Drag him away.
He would have been put into handcuffs right then, turned over to the Burbank Police Department or whoever the hell is jurisdiction that was, wherever that is, and off he goes. But there's some sort of like elite bubble.
Yeah.
It's weird. But you're not going to get charged with assault unless now domestic is different because domestic, the way that the laws work in most states, if not all states, are that if it's a domestic relationship, you don't have to press charges. The conducting an assault, engaging in an assault, in and of itself is a crime, whether they're a victim, whether they're claiming to be a victim or not.
Yeah.
The nature of the relationship. Now, if Chris Rock has been involved in an entanglement with Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith, that might have been a domestic assault.
Oh, so we don't know yet.
We don't know.
It's not clear. It's not clear yet.
It's not clear. This deserves some further investigation.
And if we're talking about averages, then there is a damn good chance that this is a domestic.
There is a higher probability in this case that this was a domestic assault than any other case I know about. I mean, it speaks for itself.
It does.
Let the record reflect. I mean, I don't know, man.
Oh my God. So good.
So that's I guess the take on it. The content God smiled upon us. What's crazy is, speaking of unwelcomed, unexpected assaults, to Salt Lake City, the airport police one of them got sucker punched. Did you see this?
No.
So I don't know if the underpaid producer can pull this video up or not if you're watching live. I can't remember at what point it happens. It's fairly early on, but I want to get your reaction.
This is a completely
You see these two
unprovoked.
cops walking, and
Yeah.
you see this random dude sets his bag down.
Oh,
Bam! Out of nowhere.
Well, he hits like Will Smith.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is why I'm convinced you always got to be ready for the dude that can knock you out in one punch.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
yeah.
they're everywhere.
Yeah.
But most people drastically overestimate
What
their
was
combative
They,
ability.
they weren't in Hollywood yesterday, but
No, they were
they
not.
were-
Will Smith is not one of those men.
This thing
Why
has
did he
legs. That's
do
all I'm
After
gonna say.
seeing that, I'm not afraid to fight Will Smith.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, move your mic to the right of your face instead of right in front of it.
Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful.
I have
Thank
to.
you.
I'm trying to get closer to the mic, like you told
Yeah.
me.
Just do what Dave's doing, man. You're blocking your whole face.
People probably aren't that upset about it.
Just do my duck lips.
Good. Thank you.
All right. Anyway, so if you guys Can you pull that article? I'll pull it up here. Hold on. I can.
What article do you
That's
want?
ridiculous.
I don't have the article. Never mind.
What article? I have it.
No, you don't have the Salt Lake City police getting punched.
Oh,
There was an article that I saw that on first, and then I just looked up the video on YouTube. So yeah, the guy's going to get charged. He has been charged with assault, but 2 cops just walking through the airport.
Yeah. Minding their own business, drinking Starbucks.
Minding their own business, and some dude just decides now's the time that I'm going to drop my carry-on.
He looked like dropped luggage and just
He's like, oh, there's a cop. What I should do is punch him in the face.
He dropped his luggage and squared up to the guy from the side and just wailed on him.
What a coward, man. What a coward.
What a Will Smith.
What a Will Smith.
That guy looks like that guy did a will on everybody.
Yeah. I think the Will Smith thing is just as cowardly as that.
Oh, I agree.
I think
Absolutely.
I
it was a sucker punch. He didn't
as
know that.
as
Nobody
I've
would
thought
have
about
that was
this,
coming.
I'm just like, the more we talk about it,
Yeah.
the more that I think it through, the less and less I agree that Will Smith should be commended for defending his wife's honor.
No, for sure. That's ridiculous.
I think it's childish. I think it's allowing impotent words
I like
to
your use of
control your
that.
life. Yeah, it's way better than when I normally have to use the
Yeah.
word impotent.
Well, it's usually with me.
3 or 4. No, it's easier. Well, never mind. You're a beautiful man.
Thank
That's all
you.
I'll say.
I appreciate it.
Sam Elliott would not approve of our relationship. You would not consider that a classic Western relationship.
It's certainly not a Montana relationship.
I don't wish I could quit you at all. I'm very happy with what we have going on.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's cowardly. It's cowardly. Like, be a man. You
Mhm.
know, if you're gonna punch somebody, say it's coming.
Yeah, he did cold cock
Yeah.
from the front. Like nobody would have ever expected.
Chris Rock
that
would
he'd get-
never have he thought maybe he was coming to say something. He never would have thought that he's gonna
Yeah.
get blasted in the face.
or a puff of wind blow by his cheek. Basically, that's essentially what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine that. I wonder if it was numb though. I wonder if his cheek
Oh,
was
God,
numb,
yeah.
like stinging.
Seemed like it was like he was the way he was talking
Started
a little
drooling
bit.
out of one side of his face.
He didn't have a stroke.
Bell's palsy or whatever. That's what did it.
Yeah, if you're watching live or if you watch the video back, you'll see the video of this cop getting sucker punched.
Did they just take him into custody? Did he just give
They
up?
took
Did
him
he
into
fight,
custody right
or
there. I mean, like,
just be
the one cop, the partner, was just as stunned as
Oh,
Chris
yeah.
Rock was. He stands there like it's like a good 3 or 4 seconds of like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Did what I think just happened
Yeah.
really happen? He doesn't like jump right into action. He's like surveying the scene, like, what is going on? Why are you on the ground? What? Why is your carry-on 10 feet behind you?
Dude, let me tell you about that. So the other day, because I work in the DB right now until I retire. So I've been in DB, and so I wear plain clothes, and I've been wearing that for a while now. And my work wife, Greg, if you remember Greg, that I've talked about him before, he still works the road, and so he was taking me to pick up my DB car. So from the DPW, it had an oil change. So we're leaving the department, and we stop because we're about to enter into traffic from the police station parking lot, and a guy is coming off the road, and he turns in and he stops. And so like Greg puts his window down, or it was already down or whatever, and the guy rolls his window down and he's like, "Fuck you, you fucking assholes, go fuck yourself, fuck you." And he just kept on going and going, and he was like leaning out the window, and he's like a foot and a half away from Greg. And my first instinct, like, I'm like, hey, fuck this guy. Let's fucking beat this guy's ass. and then I'm like, wait a minute. Wait. I'm a police officer.
I can't just beat somebody up.
And I'm working right now. And I'm like, wait a minute. Greg's working too. He's in full uniform, and I'm in a fully marked scout car. This guy's yelling at us. And so I started laughing. Because it made me laugh. And so Greg's trying not to laugh, and the guy is getting angrier because I just start busting out laughing because I'm like, this is hilarious. Like, it was so like we stopped, and Greg's face was
Why did you not get your cell phone out?
dude, it was it happened so fast, and like Greg was
That'd
like
have been amazing.
like frozen, like what, what is going on? We were both so confused, and then when it clicked in, I just started laughing. The guy has serious mental illness, and he actually went into the department and was screaming and ranting and raving and stuff like that. But yeah, it was the same type of thing. Like you just sit there for a second, you're like, is this really happening to me? Like it's like if somebody does like a traffic violation in front of you, like say like it's green for you for like 15 seconds, and somebody just goes boom, right through a red light. You
like,
start questioning yourself, like
wait a second, yeah, is that real?
Wait, is that
They
real?
really do
Wait,
that?
did
Did I see what I think I just saw?
Yes, it's the same thing. Like
Yeah.
I think you just get so surprised by some of the weird shit that happens, every day, especially as a copper.
And I can't imagine why people are quitting
It's
the
just
police
weird.
world when you can't walk through the airport without getting randomly smashed in the face for no reason.
The guy had carry-on too. Like he was actually traveling somewhere. What the fuck, right?
He just saw his opportunity.
Yeah, the guy was literally traveling. He was probably in between flights. He's heading from Chicago to Louisiana. He stopped. He's like, dude, fuck these guys.
With a stop in Salt Lake City. That's a weird, flight path. I don't know.
It is what it is.
Speaking of more assaults, which is the theme of the day, Will Smith set the tone for today's show.
Thanks, Will.
A 5-year-old. Can you pull this up? Oh, I can pull this up. I'm pulling up two articles. I forget that I have an iPad in front of me and I can do that.
Okay. Well, it's here for you.
The original story is that Florida teacher hospitalized after attack by 5-year-old needs surgery. Union says it's child's third attack. How? Okay, let me read this to you just to be flabbergasted by what's happening.
Okay.
A South Florida elementary school teacher. This happened March 8th. Back like at least that's when the news story broke.
Okay.
Right. So this is a little older story, but it popped into my head because I'm thinking this is perfect. Like this continues the theme of assaults because there's no charges going to be filed.
Right.
And I'll explain why under Florida law why this is.
Okay.
It could happen, but probably won't. A South Florida elementary school teacher who had to be hospitalized after she was attacked by a 5-year-old in her classroom was so severely injured, she had to be intubated and needed surgery.
What the fuck? What happened?
The attack happened at Pines Lake Elementary School. According to the police report, the incident began when 2 students in the classroom, ages 4 and 5, began throwing things around the classroom and at the teachers, along with flipping the chairs.
What the fuck happened?
What?
Is it like a special needs? Like
It is.
okay.
It is. But
Wow.
still 5 years old. Several faculty members split up the students, and teacher Trisha Meadows brought the 5-year-old into another room. So it's just teacher versus 5-year-old at this point.
It's a steel cage match.
One teacher and student enter. Only one person leaves alive.
This Saturday night.
The pay-per-view would be lit. All right. That's when the boy attacked Meadows. Broward Teachers Union President Anna Fusco says he actually ran and attacked and jumped on her with his whole body weight.
Seriously, this is a Chucky episode, like a movie, right?
She fell and hit her head, which caused the severe injury and other bodily injuries where she is going to need surgery. So it sounds like maybe the inadvertent hitting of her head is what kind of like took her out of the fight. And I just feel like he was like a spider monkey just going to town.
Yeah, just leached on her like Alien.
Yeah, there's a video of a monkey at a zoo beating a seagull to death on a pole. And I feel like
where do you find these things?
Joe Rogan posted it.
I'm on the internet too much, man. Tell me.
What's up, bitches?
Freak bitches.
Is he still using that? Joe Rogan using our line?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah,
I don't
he
know.
uses that at then.
Still uses our line.
I don't know. So I just feel like he's a monkey just bashing her head like a coconut or something on the
Oh, totally. Dude,
on
this
the
seriously has
floor.
movie written bad, like B-side.
Staff
horror
members heard the teacher using her school radio saying, thank God she had a radio. What? Teachers didn't have radios when I was in school.
No.
There was no such thing. Teacher, you would have been found in the next break period.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Whatever room that was.
Whatever
It
room
could
you
have
were
been, like,
in.
a broom closet.
You'd have just been found later.
Pipe her down. A pipe her
Look at-
down.
Oh yeah, this is the monkey beating the seagull to
Can you
death.
see it, Dave?
Yeah. What are you guys looking at? This is
Dude, we're looking at a monkey that grabbed
Oh
a
my
seagull
God.
out of the air.
He did too. He's like on top of some weird, like post-apocalyptic
Dude, it's just,
pole farm.
it's just a minute straight of this monkey just beating
Just
the
hand-
seagull to death.
It was Will Smith versus Chris Rock, and the Chris Rock is the seagull who just doesn't die. He just won't give up. Just keeps taking the beating. I don't know. So they find her sitting against the wall in a faint state. While the officer noted that Meadows was blinking and breathing, he noted that she was otherwise unresponsive.
What the hell? That's so
At
weird.
no point was she able to vocally respond or show any conscious signs of response. This 5-year-old beat the hell out
Wow.
of this teacher. Isn't that nuts?
Do you think maybe the child might have some kind of a mental problem? No, I'm just asking.
Yeah, it was a special needs classroom,
Now, see,
Somebody said too much Mountain Dew, I bet.
dude, let me tell
and
you,
they probably have super strength.
we have a special needs school.
The R word is involved in
for
what I'm talking
for
about.
children of all like different ages, and it can get pretty rough, man. That's I'll tell you what.
I agree.
It is.
I had the same thing. I
Those
had an 11-year-old
teachers
try to take
are-
my gun,
Yeah.
try to stab me
Yeah.
with a stick.
Yes. Yes.
It can get crazy. But he's 11.
Yeah.
We're talking 11 or 12-year-old
Right. And
mentally disabled.
and it can never be
kids.
like a 3-foot tall 11-year-old that weighs 40 pounds. It always has to be the 11-year-old that's 6'3", 240. It's always like that,
Yeah.
right? But I tell you what, it's incredible because I don't know how on God's earth anybody can do that job, because it is. People go, oh, how do you? I don't know how you can be a police officer. It's so tough. I'm like, dude, you have no idea some of the tough adults that I deal with every single day.
Yeah.
Like that's just an incredible calling, because you might get your ass kicked. I mean, point in case.
Yeah, literally. But so now it says the follow-up story to this a couple days later, Florida boy, age 5, who attacked the teacher lacked intent necessary for prosecution.
Well,
So apparently the only way he can be charged is under a felony assault law, which doesn't have an age thing. But otherwise, in Florida law, misdemeanor assault, unless you're over the age of 7, you can't be prosecuted for it.
What are you going to do? How are you going? Like, what are you
Send
going
that kid to the
do?
electric chair. Send a message to all the other 5-year-old wannabe assaulters.
Good Lord.
Yeah, get them good. Hang them high.
Make
Am
an
I right?
example of him.
Yeah, hang
Pull
them
up,
high.
Braveheart that son of a bitch.
That's what I do to ants.
Whoa.
Sometimes, like, I'll see a group of ants and I'll kill one of them. I'll kill all but one and send them. It's like, you go tell your friends. That's what
Yeah.
happens when you're on my driveway.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
got the magnifying glass out. You're
I'm
frying.
zapping them. I leave
frying
one.
one.
You always leave one.
Send
Go
a
tell-
message back to the rest of your colony.
Go tell your fucking friends.
You go to the neighbor's yard. You get out of mine.
The frick, man.
Yeah,
it is brutal. Like, but what are you going to charge?
but there's
a
never been
5-year-old
there's
with?
never
What are you
been a
gonna do?
5-year-old criminally prosecuted for anything like this. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no precedent for it.
Well, it's
What are you gonna do? Like if he's special needs,
yeah, it's
whatever
special
set him
needs.
off. Like how are you gonna do that?
Yeah.
I would like to get classified as special needs somehow so that I could get away with assault though.
Oh, you could.
I just start smacking.
There's no doubt.
then
You
I would
could-
be in a
you could
restaurant just-
qualify very easily
you.
for special needs.
Just
yeah.
jumping on people randomly. Like, sorry, I'm special needs. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
Well,
We
again,
can't prosecute you.
and we know that this definitely happens. It's funny because we're making somebody's going to be all pissy about fucking special needs, right? Not knowing,
Not knowing.
not knowing. They don't know.
Again,
They clearly don't.
Again,
know
the
me.
jokes that I've made.
about my autistic son.
Yes.
my autistic
Like,
child.
I've literally used the R word. I mean, it's
Yeah.
whatever. Like some people get really offended by that, and like I've made fun of people. Like I'll do jokes about all sorts of different things, and then people say that I'm so insensitive, and I'm like,
Yeah. You have
and
no
I'll
idea.
just ask them a question. I'll be like, who is my mom?
Yeah.
By the way, well, I don't know. Then shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah. I know 2 things about your mom. She's gimpy and she's dead. That's what I know about your mom. That's all I know.
And I was finally able to take advantage of the first thing after the second. What? Necromancy? What? Can't be prosecuted in Florida for that either, I
No,
don't
you
think.
probably can't. It is weird though. Like, it's weird because when you're on the road dealing with special needs individuals, whether they're young
Yeah.
or old, trying to prosecute is not something we ever even do. So the first thing that we normally would do is just take them to the hospital, have them committed, petition. But this is such a weird dynamic. So like, I mean, is somebody screaming for jail time for a 5-year? Like, how do you fix that? Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because not only that,
what do you do? Do you charge the parents?
Yeah. What do you charge for a special needs 5-year-old? Like, well, that makes no sense. The child obviously is severe mental illness.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense to me. What are we trying to solve here?
Yeah. It's a tough situation all the way around. And yeah, we had a school where it was the perfect storm. We were there every day.
Yeah. Yes.
Every day.
Yes.
And it was a mix of people who had disciplinary issues, who did not have mental disorders.
Mm-hmm.
Like they weren't disabled. They're just bad kids, right? Like they had terrible home lives.
Yeah.
They were suspended or expelled too many times from their traditional school. So they qualify to go to this school, which also had a mix though of special needs in there.
Well, I think you're going to get that, and I'll let you continue, but like you're going to get that those groups there's a fine line, right? There's a big gray area because a lot of times special needs, if it's not caught by the parents, or if it's, we'll just say ignored, because a lot of parents don't want to admit that their child may have some kind of special need, they become the bad kid.
Yeah.
Too. And then they become the shit, you know what I mean? That we have to deal with in that kind of way. So sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, and I've seen, I was on the receiving end of fights with kids in which you can't go over the top.
Yeah.
You really just kind of have to try to kind of curb it while you can. And then I saw teachers too. Like I remember vividly one situation where it was one of those things where the kid was 12 or something.
Yeah.
But he was like 6'1" and 260 pounds at 12. And he had stabbed somebody with a writing utensil.
Yes.
And they get that kid out of there who's a victim of a crime. And the kid is they locked him in a room by himself. And then the teacher was like, tries to tackle him and is like trying to not hurt.
Yeah.
And try to lay on top of this kid. Like just.
Yep. Same thing happened to us.
It gets weird.
Kid had like a shank. Like, where do you get, did he fashion the shank at home? Did he do it at work or school? I don't know. But he did. That's what he had. And
we're trying to silent hours.
Yeah,
in the morning.
I just want to say, like, the quiet
craft time,
the quiet study hall moments. He's just it was like a shank and
paper mache
we're
shank.
Trying to like corral him. I know it sounds dumb, like he's an animal or something, with like these orange like the kid chairs, like the chairs. The fuck are we like?
Go on, get.
I felt like I was on Yellowstone. I thought
like
I was
Siegfried and Roy with a retarded kid. Oh man, I said it.
Take the kid to the. About to take that kid to the train station. You know what I'm
saying? He's only 3 episodes in. Have you seen the train station on Yellowstone yet?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Don't spoil it.
Well, we're not.
Yellowstone's interesting. This is so off topic. Yellowstone's interesting. It's really good, but then there's also like those moments.
It's kind of soap opera
where I'm like, this is kind of cheesy.
Every once in a while they'll throw. Yeah, it's like they didn't have to because the great writing.
1883.
My friend.
The Chef's Kiss.
Finished? Have you finished?
No, we're halfway through. And it's so good. It's so freaking
You
good.
don't have to mask that as a chef's kiss. I know. It's okay. So, but yeah, how many more do you have?
I think 3 or 4.
Okay.
I think 3 or 4 episodes.
I'm not going to lie. If you've seen this fucking show, that show fucked me up for 3 days.
I love that. I love the show. It's so good. It's
love
a 9 out of 10
shows like that.
I know. It is. Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel watching Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of assaults on teachers.
Okay.
Moving on to the next article. That's not it. That's the wrong one.
Lord.
Again, every time he messes up, dude.
I try.
Underpaid producer is going to
try.
It's overpaid. You want to hit that headline for us, Dave? Can you read that one? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, man.
Teens bludgeoned Spanish teacher to death after a detailed planning of murder. Holy!
You can't
just look at that kid.
I'm telling you, you cannot make up the fact that I sat down.
His name is Ethan.
I said it does look like an Ethan.
He's an Ethan.
Or Blake.
Ooh, Blake.
Blake. Yeah. Listen, you can't make up the fact that I sat down with the Will Smith story in mind to frame in today's show with law enforcement related news. And it was just assault after assault. And I'm like, okay, a 5-year-old assaults a teacher. Surely that can't be the only assault on a teacher. That should be the only assault on a teacher.
It should.
That's newsworthy. And I scroll 2 stories down and I'm like, What? What?
Was it Florida? Fucking Florida, man.
Where was it? No, it's Iowa.
There was an assault
Is that still a
on a
state?
teacher at my school.
So this says unsealed search warrants on Monday revealed more details of the murder of Fairfield High School Spanish teacher. It reminds me of, no offense to the family, but Adam Sandler's The Severe Beating of a High School Spanish Teacher. That's the first thing that popped into my head when I heard this.
I don't know what that is.
Juan es muy guapo. Hola, señor. Ay, biblioteca. And she's getting beat to death. You don't remember that?
No.
The severe beating he had on his comedy albums. The
I've heard
severe
some
beating of a
comedy.
high school
Yeah.
Spanish teacher.
Dude.
Then it was the severe beating of a high school science teacher. Oh my beakers!
You know what? It's funny. I almost feel like you're bringing something back. Like it was. He had a couple of comedy albums. but-
Yes,
Yeah,
I
those
own them.
back in the day.
Yeah, they're great.
Albums.
Yeah, the severe
of
beating of a
shit
high
car
school
and-
bus driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the severe beating of a high school janitor, and they were like these little 30-second interludes
Right.
between tracks. Amazing. Oh, this is science teacher. Newtonian. The science pig. There you go.
Wow.
Um,
Well played.
which feels very disrespectful to the fact that this lady was murdered.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
uh,
a little bit.
I didn't even make
That's
that
on. That's on the
connection.
producer, I'd say.
That's not my
Sorry,
fault.
You can blame
Heartless
me.
bastard.
Cancel me. I don't care.
Court documents unsealed show that Jeremy Goodale and Willard Miller discussed the murder of 66-year-old Noema Graber on Snapchat. Search warrants was involved in the planning, execution, and disposal of evidence. Investigators determined that Goodale conducted surveillance on the Spanish teacher before the attack, detailed how Graber was killed, where he'd put the body and her car, and how he'd gotten rid of the evidence, all in Snapchat messages.
How old were these kids?
They're high school students, so somewhere between 14 and 18.
Holy shit.
Surveillance video showed Graber left Fairfield High School's parking lot on the afternoon of November 2nd, went to nearby Chautauqua Park. Investigators also found video of her car leaving the park 40 minutes later with a Ford pickup truck. What is there more going on to this story than we know about? You know,
I heard
why?
that the last thing she ever said was "No bueno."
No bueno.
That's rough, dude.
A witness reported having seen a man pushing a wheelbarrow toward the park about midnight.
Oh my god.
Yikes. Family members reported her missing on November 3rd and told the police the teacher frequently went for walks in that park. Law enforcement officers from multiple agencies searched the area for several hours and found her body. A criminal complaint filed in the county said that Graber's body had been hidden under a tarp, a wheelbarrow, and railroad ties. Court documents showed the police officers received a tip early in the investigation that directed them toward Goodale's Snapchat messages about the murder.
Oh, okay.
Investigators found an acquaintance of the boys who confirmed that Goodale and Miller were at the park. Charging documents indicated Miller was present when Graber was killed. Police executed search warrants at Miller and Goodale's homes and found clothing they believed contained blood evidence. And he confessed, Miller did, that he was present when the teacher was killed. He provided the materials used to kill her and then helped Goodale to hide her body. Goodale and Miller were charged with first-degree murder and first-degree conspiracy to commit murder. No motive has been identified.
They get probation.
Probably. I'm curious what it will be. Iowa says that anyone ages 16 and up charged with forcible felony is automatically waived to adult court and subject to the same procedures.
Wow.
However, with the statutory adult sentence for first-degree murder is life in prison, the Iowa Supreme Court banned judges from sentencing offenders under 18 to life without parole in 2016. That was a big deal in Michigan here, too, because Mason Samborski from Oak Park, his killer was under 18 at the time he was 16, and they were trying to fight back to get his sentence reduced because of the change in that law, too. There was hubbub here in our state about that as well. What you couldn't charge life in prison to someone under 18.
So they would have to sentence differently.
Yeah, they'd have to re-sentence them in light of they tried it. It failed in his case, but
Interesting.
interesting interesting stuff. So yeah, man, not the only attack on teachers in March.
What is going on in your life? Like, I mean, there could be a few things, and I'm just spitballing here. Do they hate Spain? Right?
Yeah. What are they really angry about?
What are they really angry about? I mean, like, seriously, like, again, you can like somebody or hate somebody. I get it. But what does it take for you to have to plan a murder of your Spanish teacher because,
I don't know, man.
Like you got a failed grade in that or something?
Dude, who knows why?
Because you were an asshole.
Who knows why kids do what they do? Like in my school, my freshman year, my history teacher was okay.
I was just looking at the screen to see.
Anyways, so my history teacher is just some kid's being stupid. She's like telling her to be quiet and basically going to send her down to the office. The kid freaks out, flips the table onto the teacher's foot, literally, and
he has to make that noise.
It breaks the teacher's foot, and she falls on the floor and is sobbing. Right?
Yeah.
And students are like,
she didn't handle it like Chris Rock did.
Students are like, do you need help? And she's like, no, and is crawling to the class phone. Well,
did you tell her you're embarrassing yourself?
The students are laughing.
She breaks glass in case of emergency. She hits it, pulls out the fire alarm.
But dude, who knows? Like, honestly,
pulls out a pair of crutches.
There's always like at least
crutches.
one unstable student,
of course,
in each classroom, and at any moment,
a hair's breadth away from disaster at any moment.
I'm not
absolute.
Kidding. I'm so glad that
I would not send. One thing I'm very glad about. I'm thankful we made it through.
I'm not going to send.
I would never send my kids to public school. Not only for safety is whatever. I mean, like that's a risk. I get it. I just hate the ideological indoctrination happening. It's just not even.
I don't know. You know what you're talking about. I've never had to deal with that. We totally moved out of the
whole episode right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I want my son to go to public schools so that he can get hardened like steel.
I tried the homeschooling thing. I couldn't do it because I needed to interact with other people. I was going insane.
That's how I mean,
most people can't afford a private education is the downside. That's why we kind of went chartered, is a little hybrid. But your
charter's worse. All the kids that got expelled from the public schools went to my school.
Yeah, but your elementary, that
was way better.
That was run by someone very capable. But once it was like junior high and beyond, it was just like a giant public school. It didn't make a difference.
Exactly.
And it was school of choice too. So boneheads.
Yeah. Ben's going just online school, and he wants to go to school really bad because he does miss interaction. And let's be honest, I mean, he's autistic. And although high functioning, he's at that point where people just think he's weird. He's strange. Right.
Yeah, and that age group would just label him as a freak or a weirdo.
And I am extremely nervous about that.
Sure.
But because he does jujitsu too. But he is the worst practitioner I've ever seen in my
even worse than me.
He's even worse than you. He's really poor, like bad, but he loves doing I don't even know if he loves doing it, but he enjoys being there with the kids and stuff like that. I wanted, and I've been kind of trying to talk to him about being a little more serious about it because of the fact that, like, and you don't want to go, hey son, just because you're going to be considered a freak, you need to toughen up, Sue, and my little boy named Sue,
yeah,
right? Because life is not going to be easy from here on. It just gets harder, and you don't want to dump that on your kid,
Yeah.
So it's tough, man. But you're right. Like, these kids will torment. They will do all these other things. I mean, it sounds like they might even take a freaking shotgun or an AK-47. Just
yeah. Okay. Speaking of kids trying to harm people again. Next headline.
He doesn't even look like he's 13.
From the Police Tribune.
He looks like
13-year-old pleads no contest.
He just got done playing Minecraft.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Weirdly enough, he's the brother of the 5-year-old.
The headline reads, 13-year-old pleads no contest to firing AK-47 and shotgun at deputies.
You're right. There was no contest. That is not a contest.
Yeah. Me versus an AK-47 is not much of a contest.
No contest.
The Russian engineering will win every time.
Wait, did he like John Wick this thing? Like, did he have the shotgun like strapped around his back?
Dude.
And like he just once he ran out of the 30-round mag dried up from his AK, he dumped it and just like switched over to the shotgun. This is Walking Dead now.
I don't know what's going on with kids in Florida, man, but this is in Volusia County, Florida.
The defense attorney said he's a little tiny little boy and he got into a big mess.
That is the understatement of the year so far.
He's a little tiny.
He tried
little
murdering
boy.
2 cops. And he got into a big mess. Yeah, I'd say that's a big mess.
That's like when an NFL commentator goes, they're going to need to score points if they want to win this game.
They're going to have to.
No shit.
They're going to have to get past these 4 downs and
Yeah.
score some points if they want to get in the lead.
Yeah, no shit, jerk. Yeah, nice one.
Travis is now 13 years old. He was 12 at the time, I think.
my
Entered
God.
no contest on attempted murder of a law enforcement officer
What the
and
hell brought
burglary
that?
criminal mischief.
Come on.
He was sentenced in juvenile court to the maximum risk program, which could keep him incarcerated. It won't,
No, it
but it
won't.
could until he's 21.
Dude, they
Good
said
Lord.
the defense attorney also said that deputy forgiving him because he forgave him and said that he'll pray for him every day is going to be a huge thing he'll remember when he's old enough to understand what just happened.
A 13-year-old is very, very able to understand
was
that
12
killing people is wrong.
When I was 12, I knew not to pick up an AK-47 and shoot at anybody, let alone a police officer.
Dude. He said the deputies sounded horrified in their body cam at the thought of having to shoot children who were firing on them. Yeah, well, you think?
Yeah.
I can't imagine why anybody wouldn't want to be a cop.
No, it's weird to me.
Why are people leaving this profession? I have no idea.
No, I should have been a fireman. Everyone loves a fireman, man. I'm telling
Everybody
you.
loves them, man.
I wouldn't have to wear a shirt. I could just wear those. What are the bottom parts?
Well,
called?
you know that for the listeners that don't, I may have said this on the show before, but I've told this in some form in different places, and I lose track of where or what audience. But my first cop gig was at a public safety department, and they're all over the country, but they go by different names or whatever. But in Michigan, if you're public safety, typically what that means is that you do police and fire. So that was my first gig, and it was crazy. I would drive in my cop car, and even on FTO, like I would get flipped off.
Oh, yeah.
By random people just on the side of the street, like, yeah, fuck you, copper. And I would
like an 80-year-old man.
yeah,
that has lost his way. From
and my
mental
FTO taught me, like, dude, whatever, like whatever. People are gonna hate. It's fine.
Yeah, you're not Will Smith, bro.
Yeah,
You
you're
just
not. You're no
calm down.
Will Smith. Okay, you can't just walk up and punch this guy in the face. So, on the other hand, when I was driving the fire truck, people would be like waving big Forrest Gump waves and just so happy to see me.
You see this? It would have been better if you'd have seen the same dude, like the
same
guy who
guy.
flips you off, and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guy's like, "Hey, what's up? I love the fire."
It's nuts, man.
Yeah, I can
it's
only imagine.
crazy. So
Everyone loves firemen. Everyone
it's
loves
nuts. Of course, the deputies would be horrified that they might have to shoot a kid. It's crazy. Anyway, yeah. So that happened in Florida.
them. God, I told you, it's Florida, man.
You wouldn't think that there'd be this much assault news involving cops, but yet here we are.
yet here we are.
Here we are. And lastly, speaking of cops and assaults, a police officer of the year now is facing misdemeanor charges after he discharged his gun when he tripped.
Oh.
He tripped and accidentally fired his gun. This is out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, our home state.
Yeah.
Listen up to the headline here. Again, this is from the Police Tribune. Officer of the Year facing charges after he tripped and discharged his weapon. The 2021 Grand Rapids Police Officer of the Year is facing charges after he tripped and accidentally discharged his gun while he was about to arrest an auto theft suspect. The incident occurred around 10:30 p.m. on December 9th, 2021, while police were watching a suspected stolen vehicle parked near Cass Avenue and Sycamore Street. The suspect vehicle was a black Audi that was alleged to have 2 stolen guns inside it, and the Audi had been involved in a shooting earlier in the day. Officers were watching when the owner of the Audi left his home and approached his vehicle. They converged on him to take him into custody. That was when Grand Rapids Police Officer Gregory Bauer tripped and accidentally discharged his firearm. Nobody was shot, but the bullet did strike a nearby house.
Ouch.
Why did you shoot, sir? Davion Smith, the driver, asked in the body cam video. I tripped. Officer Bauer said. It turned out the car officers had been watching was not the stolen Audi they were looking for. Smith's attorney questioned why Grand Rapids officers didn't check the license plate of the vehicle, but police said they hadn't gotten the license plate off of the stolen vehicle from earlier. So this was them trying to do their due diligence to track that down.
And how often is a car like that?
Kent County prosecutor Chris Becker announced charges against him. But Becker said there was no intent
discharge or
for assault. There's not a shred of evidence in this case that there was the intent by the officer to hurt or kill Smith, the prosecutor told reporters.
Oh, they're charging him with what then?
The officer was arraigned on misdemeanor charge of careless discharge of a firearm causing property damage.
Okay.
If convicted, he could be sentenced up to 90 days in jail and fined $100. What's $100 if you're doing 90 days in jail? Like this, here's $100.
Here you go, buddy.
Here you go.
Here, I'll write a check.
We can make this all go away.
Here's $200 for this.
Go to the Coinstar machine, turn your shit in, give them the $100.
Dude, that's rough.
Like, why? I mean, is it really careless if it was a true accident? Like, if you tripped and it just because your gun's going to be well, why were their guns out? Well, they're taking a potential shooting suspect into custody, so you're going to have your guns out when you're surrounding them. You might not have them pointed at that guy, but you're going to have them at least at the ready, which is and if you tripped, you may have had like a convulsive reaction with your hands.
Yeah, it is weird because I mean, technically it is careless. I mean, we're the ones that in charge. Like, had that bullet went through and hit somebody, he would be charged with that. I mean, if had it killed somebody, it would be another charge. So, I mean, I feel like I should have to agree with this. I hate that. But I feel like because it was careless. Because you're the one that's supposed to be in control. Was it careless legally or is it careless civilly? Because I think civilly.
This case was like the Kim Potter case, which we broke down, by the way, on the Failure to Stop show. You can go back and listen to the Kim Potter case breakdown. And I think Kim Potter fully responsible for her actions of shooting this guy versus tasing him.
Yeah.
However, not criminally. Civilly, she could be sued for that. Should she be disciplined for doing that? Internally, yes. But the criminal charges, no way. I don't think that was applicable.
Yeah. What do we know what the statute was? How did
it was a manslaughter charge of some kind?
Because it's hard to say, because if sometimes when you read over whatever the specific law is, then sometimes it meets the criteria, even if it was accidental. So I don't know. But in that case, like, I think he put the officers in that position. Like, he escalated it. It wasn't like there was zero intention on the part of the officers to escalate that situation. You know what the problem is? Cops have guns. They should take those away from everybody.
They want to.
They should take
100%. That's what this administration wants
from police officers as well as civilians. Because I think the federal government needs them, but not people. Not
you're joining Transy on the left.
Yeah,
on the gun issue.
Not like you and I. We don't need them. Like what's the use?
It's gonna get clipped up and spread around the internet now.
Oh my god, yes. It's just gonna be like me saying specific things, and it's gonna like you're gonna see my head like jerk because they're just cutting and pasting different parts of that in there now.
Yeah, so I feel bad for this guy that he's having to go through this, but it doesn't. There's no way they charged him with this careless thing. He'll probably get like a fine.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to see jail time over accident.
Yeah,
no one was hurt.
Be consistent, right?
Yeah.
Because if normally the justice system or that judge in particular or magistrate, it normally only fines or whatever. Be consistent. Don't make an example out of this individual, certainly because they're a police officer. I get they're held to a higher standard.
Yeah.
However, he had cause to be where he was with that fireman at the time. And again, I do think that there was carelessness involved because you have to be you're responsible for that weapon. Yeah. However, be consistent.
Yeah.
And if this judge is one of those guys or girls that says, you know what, no matter what across the board, I always give 10 days jail time and fine $93.50. Then at least be consistent about that,
Yeah, for sure. Someone says trigger discipline. I agree. Yeah. Although
I agree.
If you fall down, there's certain involuntary things that your body may do.
Yeah, I know.
And it is what it is. It's a bad situation.
Yeah.
Can't avoid it.
Yeah.
Matter whatever. That's the news. That's the law enforcement related news.
News.
In the news. Hope you guys are glad to have Dave back on Off the Cuff here, which, again, if you are not familiar with the Failure to Stop podcast, we're really growing into like a family of episodes, a family of styles of shows. We have more surprises up our sleeves. Overall, though, we're trying to deliver a massive amount of value and content. And if you enjoy the content, if you feel like we are adding value, please go drop a rating or review on Apple Podcasts. Please drop a 5-star rating on Spotify. That covers about 3/4 of our listeners between those two platforms. Help us just keep growing the show. We got an email that we're ranked again in society and culture on Apple Podcasts at number 224, something like that. So we want to keep that growing. We want to be always in the top. We want to be the go-to law enforcement related podcast. So that's only because of you guys listening, sharing the show, engaging. Join the Discord. We'll drop that link in the YouTube video as well. You can engage there. We'll get Dave in the Discord too here soon, maybe, or maybe
Somebody
not.
said it looks like we're holding hands.
It does.
Yeah, they did say that.
No,
Wait.
bring it back, Mike. I don't because we don't know. I'm like, what,
Oh, yeah.
what
See,
do I
touch
do
the
with
glass.
what
Touch
do
the
I do with
glass.
my hand? What do I do with my hand?
Touch the glass.
Oh, feels so.
It's so stupid. All right. On that Brokeback note, we will leave you guys be. Hopefully you enjoyed today's surprise surprise show format.
Surprise,
And
motherfucker!
We are surprise. What if
Surprise,
Dokes
surprise,
if Dokes was a
surprise.
janitor? Surprise, motherfucker. Anyway, yeah, every Monday you can expect some off the cuff, and
Hell yeah.
we're gonna round up all the law enforcement related news on the internet, so you don't have to, and deliver it in ways only we can, because we're really awesome and you're not.
Yep.
Unless you do a Apple rating or review, then you're pretty cool.
Ooh, should we just be like, when we end it, should we do See on Top of the Hill?
now we're bringing in Tales of Valor.
Can we bring back our outro music though?
Nope.
Damn it!
It's classic and classy.
Only if it goes on all shows. That's it. All production members must sign off.
Oh, good
Okay.
Lord.
This is corporatism at its finest.
Yeah, we're a capitalist organization here.
Damn it!
All right, guys. Until next time.
Hey.